G'day, I'm Chris from Stony Creek Campers and welcome to another how-to video in our series of how-tos. Today we're going to be talking about the awning. We're going to touch base on the manual wind out and then demonstrate the electric wind out on the Scout 15 here. So I'll show you now how to open it and how to close it and what we need to do to it when it is open to ensure it doesn't blow away if a storm or heavy rain comes over. The first step on this particular one being electric is we're going to reach inside the van and basically hit the switch to start the awning coming out. If you had the manual wind version, there is a hook in the front that we're going to slide in here and then begin the process of winding the awning out. What we're looking for is to come out roughly a metre, probably no more than a metre, just so that we know we're not putting too much strain on the bracketry system. So I'll go ahead now and start the awning coming out. So once again, if you had the manual version, it's literally, there's a little hook up here that we're going to put our handle in. We're going to wind that out. By coming out about a metre, it drops it down to a height where you can reach it, as well as giving you enough room to swing out the legs. So I'll stop that there to give me time to work on it. That way I'm not running around rushing. Up in top here, we're going to grab the legs, slide them out, and drop them down. There's a little grey or silver lever here which will allow the leg to extend, then we'll lock it off. A couple of things to look for. Down this side here there's a little retaining clip. It's just a plastic clip sits inside the extrusion. It's going to be hard to get it on a camera, but you can see the action there of it locking into that clip. Up this side we've got a cast knuckle. The tube for the pole basically slides inside and outside of that knuckle. So to be able to pull this out, we want to release the clip and then slide the pole out of that knuckle. A couple of things to look for here. It is on a stop, it will only slide so far. We need to make sure it's fully extended before trying to lower down this pole. The reason being, if it's not all the way out, if it's only halfway out and we're trying to pull this down, it's going to hit on the extrusion and potentially break this knuckle. So all the way out, let the pole slide down, drop the pole. Now that our legs are down and supporting the structure, we'll go ahead and we'll continue winding this awning out. With the electric awnings, they have their own cut-off point, so it will only go out as far as it needs to, and then a little micro switch will stop it. So we'll just walk with it as it comes out, and we'll keep pushing these legs so that they don't end up tipping over. So you can hear that awning stopped now, so the awning is fully out. Depending on the awning itself and the adjustment process, you might find that the vinyl is a little bit slack up on top here. So what you can do in that instance, we can go in and basically retract the awning just a tiny little bit to tension up that vinyl and take some of the bounce out of it. Now that we've got the awning completely set up, if you're experiencing bad weather or rain, it's a great idea to drop down one of your legs. Now you can have a fairly good angle raking off here as well as off the front. So you want to make sure that any rain falling on this awning is going to come off and it's not going to risk pooling in the middle and you waking up to a collapsed awning at 1 o'clock in the morning. So always drop a leg, you won't hurt it by doing so. A couple of other key things to look at regardless of the weather in terms of rain is wind gusts. Now wind gusts can come out of anywhere, anytime, anywhere. So in the bottom of these poles there's provision for some pegs. Underneath there's 2 holes, so you can put a peg down through the floor, sort of crossed over like that. That will stop the pole from lifting up. Or you could also put a guy rope over the top and physically rope it down. Personally on my own van, I use both methods. I'll pin the bottom with a peg and I'll also put a rope on it just to ensure no random gusts of wind are going to take this and throw it over the top of the van. That's pretty much everything covered with your awning. There are accessories you can buy such as anti-flap kits which will clamp onto the end of the vinyl run from the top to the bottom and make this a rigid frame, as well as curved rafters for the middle to stop any chance of water pooling on that vinyl. As a standard awning though, that's how you set the awning up, and now we'll go ahead and we'll pack the awning down. Once again, we'll level these back up since we're closing it up. At this point here, if you were a manual awning, we'd install our handle and we'd start winding that awning back in, making sure that the vinyl wraps underneath the drum, not on top of the drum. Being an electric awning, we don't have to worry about that because it can't overextend to wind on top. So we'll start bringing it back in now. I'll walk with it and we'll bring the legs in. I'll just stop that there while I stow the legs away. All right, so now we're at the point where we're winding our awning in. We've come to roughly 1 metre out. We know the awning can safely support itself. We're going to raise these legs. So we've removed the pegs from the feet. This is our little lock off for the leg. We're going to slide that up. We're going to support the leg and swing it back up. Here, we're going to make sure that that knuckle slides all the way in and that this foot is against the extrusion. It will not fold in if it's sitting like that, so we need to always make sure that that is against the extrusion and it clicks away. Now that we know that leg is all the way in, we can continue to wind our awning in and pack it away. Being the electric awning, once again, it will get in to a point where it will stop itself. You don't have to worry about turning the switch off once it's in. It is good habit to return the rocker switch back to the center position so it's not going in or out. That way it's not constantly tucked in the in or the out position. So personally, I just return it back to the center. All done. If this were the manual awning, once again, you'd wind it in until it was firm. You'd be able to visually look at it and notice that it's all pulled in nice and straight. You've done everything right. You can then take your handle off and stow it back away. Thanks for watching. I hope I've been able to teach you a thing or two about the awnings and help you understand the use, setting up and packing up. Come along next time for another how-to in the series. Thank you.